What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk about a bunch of the communication we've been getting from Sledgehammer and Michael Condrey. This has been amazing. We've been getting pretty much daily updates on things they're looking at, things they're acknowledging, and while we haven't seen the changes come yet, it's great that we're finally seeing some communication, we're seeing the direction that they're planning on taking certain things, and it no longer feels like we're just being left in the dark. This is a great step in the right direction. I'm very happy to see this. And this is pretty much exactly what I asked for in last week's video. Just give us some communication, just talk to us a little bit. I don't expect things to be fixed instantly all the time. I just want to know what's going on, and they've been doing a great job of this. Now we'll just have to wait and see if they follow through with what they've been talking about. So the first thing I wanted to talk about in today's video, you've probably already seen it from some other YouTubers. It just didn't work out with the timing because I'm in Europe now and the time zones just don't really work. So I'm a little behind on this one, but hopefully I'll be a little bit ahead on the next one. This is Domination XL, and what Domination XL is, this is Dom 100, or 100 score per kill domination. This is something they tested out in the second weekend of the console beta, and based on their data, they decided that they wanted to go with Domination 50 for the full build of the game. There's been a lot of backlash against that. Personally, I'm someone that is against Domination 50, but I also acknowledge the fact that Domination 100 might be a little bit too much for some people. I personally feel just a happy middle ground of Domination 75 would be the best way to go, but if I had to make a choice between Domination 50 and Domination 100, I'm taking Domination 100 all the way. I really want to play Domination more often in this game, but I don't like the fact that I just don't feel rewarded while playing it. If I go on a crazy streak with a bunch of objective play and I get a bunch of kills, that will get me like a recon and maybe a fighter pilot. I really feel like in Domination, there should be a realistic chance of earning some of those higher streaks if you have a great game or if you're doing amazing. And currently with Domination 50, that just doesn't happen. So I'm really happy to see this. It looks like they're going to be rolling that out within the next couple of weeks. He didn't give an exact date or anything on that. But if that's something that you want to see in the game, make sure you hop on and you play that playlist as much as possible. They're going to be collecting data on this, and I'm sure the player numbers are going to be a big part of their data. So if they're seeing that a lot more people are playing Domination XL versus the Domination 50 that we currently have, that might be an indication to them that they were wrong in the beta. And who knows, maybe they were even right in the beta and we won't see that many players. Basically, what I'm saying is vote with your play time. If you want to see Domination 100 stay, make sure you play it as much as possible. So that was the first update that we got from Michael Condrey yesterday. Like I said, a bunch of YouTubers already covered that. Then several hours later, we got another post from the Sledgehammer Reddit account, and this is the post I've been waiting for. This is the post I wanted to see because it's the one that's actually acknowledging all of the top issues that we're seeing in the community for this game. A bunch of the other updates throughout the past week have been great. We've been getting pretty much daily updates on little things here and there, and it was nice to see that increase in communication. However, it did feel like they were dodging some of the bigger issues that the community was talking about, like sprintout times, health regeneration, the announcer volume in the war game modes, where the bomb has been planted on the ammo supply, for instance. It felt like they had been kind of ignoring those things. Now they're actually acknowledging it in this post. Now keep in mind, they prefaced all of these things before I list them. They prefaced this with some of these are issues that need to be fixed, and some of these are design choices that we would like to explain. So just because they're acknowledging it here doesn't mean they're actually changing it. They're definitely going to be changing some of these things, but I'm sure a bunch of them that we would like to see changed, they're just going to say, this is the way we intend it to be, and we're not going to be changing it. So now that we have that out of the way, let's get into the items that they say are the high priority items, and we're going to be getting a much more detailed post on this soon. And that post is actually going to explain what they're going to be changing and why they're not going to be changing things, or why they're going to be changing things in some ways. And that's the stuff that I'm really excited to see. So first up, Sprintout times. They finally acknowledge the fact that we're talking a lot about sprintout times, and a lot of us want those sprintout times reduced a bit, at least for like the SMGs, but for many of us, we want it kind of reduced across the board. In this game, there are no perks that allow you to come out of sprint, aim down sight, and be ready to fire faster. We've had perks like this for the past many Call of Duties, not just advanced movement, but a lot of the boots on the ground Call of Duty games in the past. We've had the ability to come out of sprint and aim down sight quickly, and for a lot of us, that's our preferred playstyle. We like snapping onto targets really quickly. We like being able to use our reaction time to our advantage, rather than having to prepare every single move that we make and move around the map in a very methodical fashion. It's not that we haven't adapted to this, and it's not that we want to sprint around the map like a chicken with its head cut off. For me at least, I just want to be able to move around the map aggressively and have my reaction time actually mean something. As it is right now, the sprint out times are very comparable to the time to kill values up close. And what this means is if you run into somebody that's pre-aimed, he can actually kill you before you fire a shot. Now, I'm not saying that the person that's caught sprinting should have the advantage in the gunfight. I'm just saying I feel they should have a bit of a chance. This is definitely an area where I hope they're actually going to be making a change rather than just explaining their design choice and deciding to keep it the same. Having said that, if that's what they decide, it is their game after all, I'm at least happy that they're going to be acknowledging it and they're going to be giving us some closure on the issue. I would much rather they come out and say, we're not touching sprint out times, they're staying the way they are, than leaving us hanging the whole time, wondering if eventually maybe they will adjust those sprint out times. So that was the first thing on this list, and probably the biggest thing for me at least, but the next thing we're going to be looking at is the spectating issue at the beginning of matches. They've made some tweaks for the PC version, which has apparently improved that significantly, and it looks like they're also going to be pushing that fix to the console versions as well within the coming update, hopefully. So hopefully that will also resolve a lot of the issues on the console side where people can't spawn into the game and they're stuck spectating teammates, because that is a major issue that definitely needs to be fixed. Even though not everybody deals with it, admittedly, I very rarely run into that issue, but I know there are lots of people that do experience that issue, especially on Xbox, and that needs to be fixed for them. So it's good that they're acknowledging that. Next up was the Domination 50 score per kill. That's just kind of referring back to Michael Condry's post. They're going to be doing that Domination XL and testing things out again. I hope they end up making some adjustments there and at least finding a compromise at 75 per kill, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Next up is the announcer volume levels in the war game mode. It's nice to see they're aware of this. I just really hope this gets fixed in the next update. If it doesn't get fixed in the next update, I hope they have a detailed post explaining exactly what's taking them so long, because it seems like it should be such a simple issue for them to fix, but it's still there after, I think it's been there now for about a month, and that's just insane to me. So it looks like that's hopefully going to be addressed within the next update. Next is health regeneration. Again, I'm a little bit worried this is going to be an area where they're just going to say, you know what, we've heard the complaints, but this is how we want it to be in our game. This is something that significantly slows the pace of the game down, and in my opinion, it also reduces the skill gap quite a bit, because it holds players back that want to get in the action and are pushing for that action. It just constantly holds them back. I find it really annoying when I get shot a bunch of times and I win the gunfight. I've actually found myself, I just like lay down behind a piece of cover and like take a drink of water or something while I'm healing up, because I can't really do anything. I can't push. I'm super one-shot, so I can't be pushing people. The smart move is to just kind of chill and be a useless member of my team for 8 seconds or so. Now, I'm not saying that I feel the health regeneration should be literally instant. I think it should just be a little bit more in line with the previous Call of Duty games, and I'm not too sure why they decided to slow it down so much in this game. So just like with sprint out times, at least they're going to be addressing it, and it's going to be great to get some closure on the issue, but I really hope they make some changes in this area. Next up is shell shock from friendly explosives. This is an area where, admittedly, I don't really feel too strongly on this issue. I've kind of adapted to it. It's not really that big of a deal to me. Yes, it's annoying, and yes, I'd like to see it changed, but it's not something that's just constantly getting me killed all the time, over and over again. It's not screwing up the pace of the game for me in any significant manner, but it is annoying, and I'm interested to see what they say on this. After that, we have Scorestreaks. Now, they didn't elaborate on this at all, but I think what this is talking about is the general weakness of the Scorestreaks in this game, especially some of the higher end Scorestreaks. So for instance, there's a lot of inconsistencies with paratroopers. Sometimes your paratrooper has a shovel or a melee weapon, and it's not really fair compared to other times where they all get like PPSHs and they're just running around dominating everybody. This leads to a lot of inconsistencies, and I feel like since paratroopers are a relatively high streak and they take a lot to earn, they should be somewhat consistent, or they should be more consistent than they currently are. Another big thing I've seen a lot of people complain about is the fact that the ball turret gunner doesn't last for very long, and it's the highest streak in the game. It's very rare to get this, and then when you do, it doesn't feel all that rewarding because it's gone before you know it. Yes, you can rack up a decent number of kills sometimes in some situations on some maps, but it just doesn't really feel like a 1700 score reward. So I'm hoping what they mean by Scorestreaks here is they're going to be taking a look at buffing some of the higher end Scorestreaks, perhaps tweaking a few score streak values, I think that would be great, and I'm excited to see what they have to say. Now, the final thing on their list here is shotgun tuning. What I am really hoping for with the shotgun tuning is a buff to the sawed-off shotgun, perhaps a small buff to the Luftwaffe drilling as well, and also a change to the combat shotgun. I don't want to just say a straight-up nerf, I want to see a change. Personally, I think the perfect way to balance the combat shotgun is revert the buff that they recently had, which made it get one-shot kills out to a range where I don't think it should be getting one-shot kills. Revert those range changes, but within the maximum damage range, which is that 6-meter range, which is a lot shorter than its current maximum one-shot kill potential, make it so you get more consistent one-shot kills. Make it so if you're point blank, you're not going to be getting hit markers. That was the main complaint with the combat shotgun before they buffed it. It wasn't that it didn't have enough one-shot kill range, it's that we were getting point blank hit markers when we really feel we didn't deserve it. So buff the maximum damage numbers while reducing that range back to where it was before the last buff. I think that would be the perfect change to the combat shotgun. And of course, that sawed-off shotgun needs some sort of a buff. It currently just seems completely useless. There's no reason to use that over a shovel in this game, which I find to be completely ridiculous. And with that, that wraps up their list. That's everything that they acknowledged here. I would say that definitely covers the biggest issues that we've been talking about for the past couple months about this game. And I'm so happy that they finally at least acknowledged these things. So I'm definitely going to give credit where credit's due here. The communication has been much, much better, and this is what we've wanted to see. Consistent communication and updates, and acknowledge the issues that we have, even if that means you're just going to explain why you did what you did. Now, having said all of this, I am still going to be taking a wait-and-see approach. Communication is great, but if they aren't following through, then that's an issue. So we'll just have to wait and see how they follow through. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about these things that they've been talking about? What do you guys think of Domination 100? What do you guys think about a potential change to the Sprintout times? Do you think it'd be a good thing or a bad thing for the game? If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.